guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a subscriber. This is from a father, and he is writing in because he's very concerned about his son. His son sounds like he's, 19, 20 years old, and he has this girlfriend who has been a pretty awful girlfriend. She's controlling, and also she's cheated on him, which of course has taken her back. And now he's very concerned because his son is looking to move in with her and her other deadbeat friends. And he's very concerned that his son is going to be, at best, brokenhearted. At worst, she's going to take advantage of him financially and maybe baby trap him. And this guy's tried with his other friends to wake him up to reality with the type of content I've done, but it's not going anywhere. So he wants to know if there's anything that he can do that I could suggest, or you guys suggest, to get through to the son before his son makes a huge mistake. And I'm going to go through this, guys, and I'll share my answer at the end. But I got to tell you, guys, I do a lot of these. Guys writing in. I've had guys write in about their brother, like their actual brother who's in trouble. I've had guys write in about their friends being in trouble, cousins being in trouble, coworkers being in trouble. I had a guy write in about a month or two ago about his father being in trouble. Got a young guy from Mexico. Now we got a father looking to help his son who's in trouble. So these videos do help. So it starts off, he says here, "Hello SSM. I guess my tale is not new. Could be as old as time. Being a parent that is disappointed with their kid. My boy, I will call Brad, is a good kid. He was a straight A student and on the football team and is in the junior ROTC. I convinced him not to waste money going to college and that manual labor and trades will make him stronger as an individual and make him more money over time. If your son wasn't going to go for something in college that was going to give him a good return on his investment to go to school, then in that case, absolutely getting a good solid trade where he doesn't have any freaking debt or anything and he can rise in that, who knows, that's a better deal in the long run. Believe it or not, he listened to me. I pulled some favors, and his first full-time job is blue collar, and he started at $25 an hour. That's pretty freaking good if he's only 19 or 20 years old. And then, of course, he can get time and a half and all that. There are other ups and downs with him, but for the most part, I am proud of him. But the one thing I've struggled with most of is his choice of women, specifically his current girlfriend. I will call her Stacy. Bottom line up front, she has family issues, which is no fault of hers, but because of this, she is a rebellious teenager and proud member of the LGBT community. Well, is she bisexual then? Which is not going to work out well for your son when she starts having urges for other girls. And by the way, notice he mentions that she comes from a family with issues. What I always say, guys, pay attention to your girl, what her family's like, her friends are like, especially her family. Because if her family, it's really screwed up, and mom and dad are fighting and carrying all the time, the whole family's full of drama, it's like something out of Jerry Springer, that's going to impact her. And that's going to impact future relationships. She's going to expect drama because that's what she's used to. And will look for guys that will give her drama, or she'll create drama with the guy's life. These are important things to know. They are dating, and through the years, she doesn't speak to anyone during any family events and constantly pulls him away from the family anytime he socializes with anyone who isn't her. So she can lead your ex-football playing son, who's obviously a big dude, around and control him. Okay, this is a bad place to be for your son. About a year ago, after the Rainbow Flag Fest in our city, she ended up cheating on my son with someone she met. So I'm guessing, obviously, she's bisexual and cheated on him with another girl, which, in fact, is cheating. Well, your son should have kicked her to the curb like that. Unfortunately, from what you described, your son is wrapped around her little finger, and here we go. My son broke up with her, or at least for a little while, he said. Well, at least he did that for a little while. I was happy over the situation because he really picked up his game, started getting overtime, and started going to the gym with me to get in better shape. He is over 300 pounds and 6'5". Perfect stature for a linebacker, but got out of shape since he got out of high school. 6'5", 300 plus, that's a big freaking dude. And I bet you ever notice it's always the real tiny petite girls with the big giant dudes, I'm willing to bet you she's this little petite thing. Now, sure, any girl's petite next to a 6'5", 300-pound football player, but my point is she's probably like under 5'3". That's usually how it works. And I bet you she loved every minute of it, having this big giant dude that can flip a car wrapped around her little finger doing whatever she wants. He says here, maybe immediately, but not known to me, he began dating Stacy again. Smack to your son. Tell me all the white knight BS that she won't do it again and all that jazz. Smack to your son again. Of course she's going to do it again. Wants to cheat, always a cheater. And she comes from a dysfunctional, effed up family. That's what she knows. Turmoil, drama. And if she's bisexual, which, hey, that's your business, fine. But guess what? Her eyes are going to stray every time she wants a little clam chowder. I knew I had to take action. I told him that if he takes her back, she will lose respect for him and she'll continue to cheat on him. And she will use him for money and possibly baby trap him. Exactly. That's exactly what's going to happen. I told him stories about the times I was cheated on and how I reacted. I also brought over a good friend that he respects and had him tell his story about the infidelity he went through too. That's great you told him all this. But remember, he's still young, and in his mind, as a typical teenager or somebody that's not far off from being a teenager, I know everything. Have you ever met a teenager who didn't think they knew everything at some point? Or she's different. Or you don't know her dad. Those type of lines. Guess what, young guys who are watching this? Your dads do know who she is. He agreed that he was going to cut it off, but never did. Now, every time I try to force feed him the red pill, he pulls further and further away from me. You're in a tough situation. You want to help him. He needs help. But it's like if you try to come on too strong, you get the exact opposite of what you're trying to get. He has even planned to rent a house and move in with her and a couple of his friends. She has never worked a day in her life, and I'm afraid she will baby trap him, possibly with someone else's kid, like the shady friends that are also unemployed that he planned on moving in with. Smack. Explain to me how this is going to work. Your son's the only one that's working. She's never had a job a day in her life, never worked. The friends don't work. Who's paying all the bills? Either he is, or is going to be once they move in together, or they're getting money from their families. Either way, he's going to be taken advantage of. And by the way, I tell you all the time that, the old saying, we're the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So if your son is hanging out with this dumbass, and the dumbass friends have got nothing going on for them, no aspirations, no drive, no goals, that's going to impact him. Bad way to go. Your son needs my channel. Of course, he'd probably be pissed off that you wrote into me. With enough reasoning and my promise I will not support him any way financially if he does, I convinced him that he should not be the sole income of a household full of leeches. So my question is, how do I stop my kid from simping for his girlfriend without ruining my relationship with my son? Does he have to find out the hard way, or can I save him from becoming yet another victim of Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0? What would you do? What would you all do? Well, I can say I would probably smack him. I would probably have to crawl up on a stool to reach your son's head, given the fact he's 6'5", but then I would smack him. Smack some good sense into him, and I'm sure a bunch of you guys would too. But in all seriousness, legally, he's an adult. Now, I don't know if he's 19, 20, 21, or around that age range. I mean, he's young. He's an adult now. You have tried. You've tried telling him your stories. You've had your friend that he respects share his stories. And at the end of the day, a lot of people, particularly guys, because we're hard-headed morons sometimes, we all know this, we have to learn the hard way. The problem is, learning the hard way comes with some consequences that can last the rest of our lives. In other words, if she gets pregnant, either it's his child or not, that could be something that he ends up dealing with for a very long time. At best, he gets his heart broken by her, and she, takes advantage of him financially, and that wound can be healed. But if he got her pregnant and she tried to baby trap him to get some support forever, that's something that ain't going away ever. So what I would do, honestly, is one more time, have a sit down, crack open a beer with your son if you both have beers, and try not to be forced, be upfront with him. That's what I would do. I would not be yelling at him. I would not be insulting her as best you can. Not try to do that. And treat him like a man. Because he doesn't want to be treated like a lot of these young guys. They want to show that they're so grown up, that they're so strong. And so if you talk down to him like a kid, it can piss him off. He might get the exact opposite what you're trying to pull off. He may just say F you just to spite you. Because he doesn't like you talking down to him, because a lot of young guys think they know everything. I would sit down, crack open a beer, and say, look, I know you've been with her a long time. I know you want to believe that she's the best thing ever, that she'll change, she'll never cheat on you again, blah, blah, blah. But son, here's the reality here. And lay it out. And that's that. But then make it clear again. Look, this is a mistake. She's trouble. She's going to keep cheating on you. This is what likely will happen. And along with hanging out with these people, that you should be moving in with them. If you want your own place, get your own place, not with her, not with them. That the odds are they're doing it just to take advantage of you and leech off you. And at the end of the day, you say what you got to say. And if he listens, wonderful. If he doesn't, he's going to have to learn the hard way. But then you, Daddy-O, are going to have to stick by your word. And if he gets in any trouble, he's on his own as a grown-ass man. Will have to deal with it. Because I've had guys write into me, and you probably heard the stories, that they, at 21 years old, 20 years old, they got that girl pregnant, and their family said, this is on you, and they had to deal with it. But if if she does get pregnant some way, somehow, for all that is sacred and holy, he better get a fucking DNA test or paternity test to find out if that's his kid or not. If that happens. I hope it doesn't. But like all these stories I do, guys, where guys write in asking help with their best friend or their brother or their cousin or their dad, I say the same thing. You say what you guys say, you provide examples, you try to help them, and if they don't want to listen, okay, because we all have to take personal responsibility for our actions. And if he has to learn the hard way, which we don't want him to learn the hard way, and that's it. But you can't have your life impacted by his dumbass decisions, okay? Legally, he's a grown-ass man, grown-ass adult, and that's that. But you got to know that you care, the fact that you're writing into me or been taking the time to say these things to him. But we all know darn well that girlfriend of his is just trash in trouble and it's just going to make his life miserable. So I really hope that he listens to you and doesn't go through with it and ends it with her. But I also got to wonder real quick. You know, a lot of guys end up with girls that take advantage and treat them like crap, and they wrapped around their little fingers because growing up they didn't get the love they wanted from their families. No offense. Like mom didn't love them enough or I don't know what, and they now have to get that love someplace else, and it's usually rushed and misplaced, doesn't work there. I'd like to know about that. Was there a lot? You probably don't even know as a father, but was there, was the mom in the picture? Was she a good mom to him? These are things I like to know about. Or is this girl his first girlfriend? These are other factors that come in. Because it sounds like your son is pretty inexperienced, because if he's obviously as young as he is, and he's been with her for a few years, I'm guessing she's probably his first girlfriend. Probably lost his virginity to her. So he's under her spell, if you will. Because if this is like his third or fourth girlfriend, I don't think he'd be attached like he is. These are important things to question. But anyhow, sir, for you and any other father out there, or uncle or grandfather, or somebody trying to help out, you present them the information, you listen to them, because again, like I said before, if you come at him hard with this, he could take it as, F you, Dad, and do the exact opposite. And so it has to be handled delicately. And at the end of the day, you try. And if he doesn't, and he screws up, it's on him. He has to, as a grown-ass man, has to handle it. Because at the end of the day, I'd be like, look, I did everything to try to help you, son. I really did. You didn't want to hear it. And now you have this mess, and since you knew everything, now you have to deal with it. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me just think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Any of you fathers out there that are watching this, or grandfathers or uncles that have kids, write in. Please take a few minutes to write a paragraph letting this guy know your experience in this department, what you may have said to a son or younger brother or nephew or grandson to help him out when you saw clearly they're fucking up. Let him know the way you approached it and all that. I guarantee you he'll read every comment. Trust me. And it will help him out. And not only helping the guy out who's writing this, but you're also helping out his son. Because you got too many kids out there that are brainwashed by bullshit movies and TV, how to behave a certain way, and they get taken advantage of. We don't want that. I'm trying to do my little part here on planet Earth to help the brotherhood out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.